This is my last day in Kyoto. So the last 2 days I decided to put them together and do everything in one video. Day 1 it was pretty much raining all the time. Day 2 I saw a lot of temples, so I didn't think it was going to be that interesting for the vlog anymore. The temples are sort of repeating themselves, but at the same time no, like they're slightly different in their own way, and it's nice because they all follow different Buddhist schools. Yeah, I still decided to put them all together into one video. What's up everyone? This is another not so beautiful day in Kyoto. We're gonna call this Kyoto Day 1, although I was here for the whole day of yesterday, but it was literally just pouring with rain. So I spent all of my time in some shopping malls, which was rubbish. But today I'm in the Higayashima area, a very beautiful area that preserved the ancient Kyoto architecture around here. And I think I'm gonna take a route, which is like a 3-kilometer route, like a walk path, seeing something like 3 or 4 temples, a couple of Zen gardens, some parks. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Let's hope the rain doesn't catch us. So right now I'm standing in front of the Shorin temple. This is actually one of the biggest temples around the area, and it used to be the school for one of the biggest Buddhist branches here in Kyoto. Now Kyoto has seen various changes in Buddhist practices throughout the years, moving from traditional Buddhism to Zen Buddhism and all that kind of stuff. This used to be the residence of one of the chief abbots of the largest Buddhist schools in Japan at that day. So right now I'm standing outside the Chonin temple. I think it's one of the largest temples here in the area. And this temple was built in the 13th century on the place where one of the really famous monks named Honen was preaching his version of Buddhism, which is currently apparently one of the largest sects of Buddhism here in Japan. The branch of Buddhism is called Jodo, or Pure Land Buddhism, and the reason why Honen is such an important person was because he actually fasted to death here on the spot where the temple was built, in order to sort of promote his brand of Buddhism and preach it to the world. Alright, so I've just had a full day of shrine seeing, temple seeing and all of that, so a lot of Zen gardens, which is pretty cool. But I finally arrived at my final destination, which is the Kyuzi Mudera. It is a temple. There is a main temple in the center of it, but it is also surrounded by many different shrines that are dedicated to certain luck aspects, such as love, luck, marriage, old age, all that stuff. This is the only temple along my way today that is very crowded. There are a lot of tourists and a lot of locals, and unfortunately the main temple itself, the exterior is actually under construction. And I've just realized, you know, like, I don't know how it took me like a week to realize why everything is under construction. Is because the Olympics of 2020 are coming soon, and they're renovating everything for the visitors to come. Now, one suggestion I actually would give to Japanese people is improve on your English before the Olympics, because there are so many times where I've been lost, and there've been a couple of times where I missed my Shinkansen trains, and it's just a pain. It's just a pain. Try to improve the English. The visitors will love you for that. So right behind me there's the Jishu shrine, and the shrine is dedicated for prayers to finding your good love and finding your love life. I can tell you there's way too many girls up there, and all of them are standing around those little shrines and giving their prayers, writing stuff on dolls, hitting the nails in. It's pretty funny, and there's a shop selling lucky charms, and basically all of them are related to something love related, marriage, child delivery, conception, all that kinds of stuff, which I thought was pretty funny. Today is going to be one of the coolest days. The weather is actually nice. We're going to see the bamboo forest, the golden temple, and another temple somewhere near the bamboo forest. I can't remember what the name is. One thing I've already noticed about Kyoto is that the people here are a lot more relaxed compared to Tokyo. People seem to be just a slightly bit nicer, if you can even say that, because Japanese people are really nice in general. The really cool thing about Kyoto is that people here are a lot more traditional. You see a lot of young people kind of going out in their kimonos and dressing up in full traditional clothing. When you go to some of the temples that I saw yesterday, you perhaps saw in the video a couple of people dressed up. And this is because there are loads of different rental shops of kimonos, and Japanese people are actually eager to try that out. Japan is actually one of the only countries that I have seen do that and dress up in their traditional clothing like pretty casually. I think China might be of the similar regard when I visit in the future, but at the moment, yeah, Kyoto surprises me by how traditional it is, and it used to be the old capital of Japan, so yeah, it kind of makes sense. Alright, I'm standing in front of the extremely famous Kinkakuji Temple, also known as the Golden Pavilion. Established in the 14th century, this used to be the outside residence, like a country house of Shogun Yoshimitsu. After Shogun's death, this temple was converted into a Zen Buddhist temple, and in 1950s one of the monks got so obsessed with the beauty of this temple that he actually burned it down for the others to not be able to see it. It was reconstructed in 1955 to the temple we see today. There is a phoenix standing above it, which is a symbol of respect to China, I guess. Unfortunately, this is an incredibly touristy place. There are just so many people around me, like there and there, so the whole kind of spiritual aspect is lost in this. But anyway, this is an extremely beautiful temple, and I think it's a World Heritage Site, obviously. Definitely a must visit if you're here in Kyoto. So the Golden Pavilion, as you saw, was extremely beautiful. A little bit too touristy, there's just way too many people, even though I tried to kind of avoid all the crowds, but yeah, they're just everywhere. Now I'm heading to Arashiyama to visit another temple and the famous bamboo forest, which is it's just a long strip of bamboo trees, and there's a pathway going through them. It should be really beautiful. I just saw something and I absolutely have to comment on it. So I happened to stand at the front of the train, seeing the conductor kind of do his thing, and I thought it was hilarious of what he was actually doing. During the train ride and before arriving to each station, he would do this thing. He would literally say out loud, "Mirror left, mirror right, check the time, let's go." And he said it like the stations are maybe a minute away, but he would always point his finger, go down to the station times and check exactly how many seconds he needs to stay there. Alright, so I'm right next to the bamboo forest, next to its north entrance, and right before it I walked into the Tenryuji Temple, which is a temple that was built in the 14th century, and the legend says that this temple is supposed to bring peace to Kyoto, because apparently there's a dragon that lives in the surrounding areas. And yeah, it's a Zen Buddhist temple. Before going inside the temple, what you have to walk through is the garden. Now, the temple has been burned a couple of times, and the newest renovation has been placed in the 19th century, so it's not actually that old. But the garden is considered to be one of the oldest gardens in the whole of Japan. It is preserved from the 14th century, and apparently it hasn't changed one bit. Even most of the plantations are actually the same as they were in the 14th century. Again, a UNESCO heritage site. Yeah. So I've left the bamboo grove. It was pretty cool. A lot of bamboo trees, again lots of tourists. It's a free area, so there's like twice as many tourists as there would normally be. There was another cool area that I missed to visit, which is the Monkey Oasis. It was about a 10-minute walk from where I was. And the Monkey Oasis basically has like 170 different types of monkeys. It's sort of a zoo. It has over 170 types of monkeys. that just basically free roam the area. You can feed them, you can look at them, take pictures. The reason why I didn't get the chance to go there is because I really want to go to the Nishiki market. It is one of the most famous markets here in Japan, I think, only following the Tsukiji market, the Tsukiji fish market in Tokyo. And it's a covered market with a lot of street food stalls, a lot of food to try. So yeah, hopefully we're gonna get some munching on. And I also wanna go visit the Gion district where the geishas are. It's basically an olden district, like a party place for the olden times when the Kyoto was still the capital. And now there are a lot of different huts and places where geishas still do their ceremonies, which is really cool. I'm in the Nishiki market. The street is absolutely freaking crazy. There's so many people, there's stalls just like shouting and selling stuff, and like there's so many locals here and there's so many tourists here. It's just like, it's a mix of everybody. Now I walked through it, I put it with my camera because it would be mad if I was actually carrying it around. But I really want to try some of the foods. Just a little disclaimer, I don't eat fish, and like 80% of the stores here are fish. I did promise myself I was going to try one of the octopi, like those small ones. But I just can't bring myself to it. Like, they're just really red, they're really small, and I found out that they actually put a quail egg inside their head, so that's why their head is so inflated. And yeah, I'm just not down for that experience. But yeah, let's try some street food. In order to eat stuff, like, I had to leave the market because people were upset with me filming right in the center of it. But here's the first thing we're gonna try. There were really shiny banners about this thing. It's a fried tofu bowl with onion and bacon wrapped around it. So yeah, itadakimasu, I guess. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's gross. Okay, not much to say here, except it's like biting into a pure onion. Yeah, let's find something different. Now, I said I wasn't gonna buy the octopus, but I never said if I wasn't gonna buy some octopus dishes. This is a traditional Japanese dish called takoyaki. It's a dough ball filled with pieces of octopus inside, and people say it's incredibly delicious. It's one of those hangover foods as well. Apparently it helps you get rid of the hangover. And yeah, I got myself with some cheese topping, which apparently is very popular. I saw a lot of people, it's like half and half. Some people get it with cheese, some people get it with spring onion. I decided to go more western, get some cheese on it. And yeah, he sprinkled some sauce on it. Let's try it. Cheers, itadakimasu. This dish is absolutely delicious. Yeah, I've got a piece of octopus. Man, the dough ball is soft and chewy. The cheese adds the flavor to it. It's incredible. And the octopus is like, it adds that like meatiness to the whole dough ball, making, oh my god, this is a fantastic dish. Seriously, the sauce on top, the cheese, everything is phenomenal. I don't think I'm gonna need a dinner after this. I might go and grab another one of these. Takoyaki, incredible dish. Definitely should try it. Alright, so after finishing the takoyaki, everything started closing down and I really couldn't handle anything else. Like, I'm so full right now. I walked past the Gion shopping district and man, it is popping. There are buildings, there's Takashimaya, which is a huge shopping mall. There's basically like 5 or 6 different shopping malls, and there are just as many people as there were in Tokyo. I think it's also because today is a Saturday, so it's just a crazy amount of people. But I want to go to the old district of Gion, the geisha district, and try to spot a geisha over there. See if I'm lucky. Geishas are basically entertainers. They used to do little dances and they would come sit down, eat with you, have a conversation. Nothing too much, I think. I think that's where it ended. But there are still some traditional geishas here in the Gion district. And I really hope I get to see one just along the street, because apparently it happens sometimes. Alright, so I've reached the old Gion streets. I'm on the Shinbashi Dori right now. And as you can see, there's a lot of like fuzzy yellow glow around me. Like, it feels like a completely different environment. It feels old, like it feels like you go into a different universe. And it's funny because as you go across the street, you look at the parallel lines which go into the main Gion street where all the madness is happening, and there's just like pungent white fluorescent light there. So by entering this world, you're kind of going, you know, just taking, I don't know, maybe a 200-year step back, and it's really cool. Yeah, I really suggest visiting it. There's a lot of restaurants. I kind of regret now having the takoyaki. There's a lot of really cool restaurants around here. But anyway, I'm going to Osaka soon, and Osaka is called the kitchen of Japan for a reason. I'm going to be eating a lot there. I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, now we're just going to wander the streets of Gion this evening and keep it real. And I'll see you tomorrow.